That night, Elaine, Janice, Luciana, Tiara, Jabrina, Leanne, and Michaela went into the night while the guard was asleep in the brake van. And then the 14 engines began to be silly. Tra-la-la-boom-de-yay, we had to throw our trucks away. Do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. Tra-la-la-boom-de-yay, they sang as they went into the night. When morning broke, a pair of women were having their breakfast in the cafe car. It was yummy. And the train went along. It passed a trailer park. Over in the siding, Juan was pulling a train of hazardous materials, and he was waiting for the engines to pass. I hope they pass soon, said Juan, because I have dangerous goods to deliver. Then there was trouble. He spoke too soon. The points weren't aligned properly, and Elaine was fast approaching. Oh no, she cried. We're on the wrong track. Oh, bust my buffers, gasped Juan. Elaine and her trailing units are coming towards me. And he was right. Elaine was fast approaching. You should hit the brakes, Jabrina said, because there's a man train ahead of us. Oh, for goodness sake, cried Juan. I should hit the brakes, said Elaine. Her driver slammed on the emergency brakes, but it was too late. Oh, we're never coming back! The engines yelled. We're derailing! And it's like we're in an inferno in the underworld! And it's dangerous and hot down here! Help! They cried. We're going off!
Whoa!
There's an alien up ahead! Whoa! They cried. We're getting stuck! And fire raged. And it exploded! And the trains derailed! As the sky became dark with fire clouds, and at last, everything came to a stop. When Lariah saw the accident, she was surprised. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the train cars had derailed, including the brake van, and the whole mega train came off the line, with lots of cars with it. And the mess was catastrophic. And no one was hurt or worse. Elaine had turned on her side in a puddle of oil, and she was disgusted. The engines have to take a detour due to the repair happening, Lariah said. Then Becky pulled up. I hope these engines are repaired soon, Becky said, because this crash was catastrophic. She was a little bit worried. We must get this cleaned up, she said. Thank you for telling me that, Becky, Lariah said. Let's do that. That night, the engines stayed in their shed while they were nice and cozy. It's not hard to clean up the wreck, Becky said. It's not, said Leanne, because we women trains can do a good job with genders. Of course we can, Lucy said. We are women trains. I'm glad you owned up, Elaine, Janice said. Thank you, Janice, I did, Elaine said. It's time for bedtime. Good night. That night, all the engines went to sleep, and the whole town was quiet and peaceful. When morning broke, Elaine was pulling the mix-up mega train once more. Well, she didn't crash into anything, and she crashed into nothing. Not one thing. And all the engines decided they would never go over a misaligned track switch ever again. We're gonna pass the Lakeshore Limited in a minute, said Elaine, 'cause it goes to Boston, Massachusetts and New York City, New York. Before long, the Lakeshore Limited came into view with the cafe car in the front and the dining car in the rear, while it had lots of cars indeed. It was really useful. I'm glad we owned up to our collision, said Elaine, 'cause that was devastating. I'm glad you did, Melisha and Matika said, and they steamed down the line with the whole mega train full of lots of things to be really useful for the new genders coming to town. And even though that accident was recent, all the engines hoped it wasn't repeated.